Hi. Our project is on the San Francisco Police Department data. My name is Lindsay.
Michael.
Daniel.
Donjo.
Cool. So let's get started. So a couple things we're going to talk about is the research and the actual data, the results, and then a little bit about the statistical significance of that. So to start, the data set that we used is the San Francisco Police Department data. So it's essentially a data frame with the input of all the different factors that came with any submitted police report. And so just a couple of sample factors sort of that were involved in this was like type of crime, the resolution, which kind of meant like what came of that report, whether it was whether they were booked, arrested, or if nothing came of it. There was the day of the week that the crime happened, the time, the actual coordinates of where it happened, and then the neighborhood of where it happened. And that's just sort of a couple of factors that is in the data frame. So as just a brief sort of overview, we found that overall there was a roughly even distribution of crime over all of the weekdays, with a little bit higher on Monday and Sunday, a little bit higher on Friday, a little bit lower on Monday and Sunday. Most common crime was larceny, which is larceny and theft. And then the Southern Police Department had the highest rate of crime of any neighborhood, with about 18% of all of San Francisco's reported crimes. And then finally, we saw that 60% of crimes actually went unresolved, meaning nothing sort of came of them, of the police report. So our research questions that we really wanted to see was what crime category most often actually had an arrest and booking come to fruition, and then we also want to understand the nuances and the relationships between crimes that occur and where they occur and time of day, and see if certain crimes are happening more frequently in some areas or some time or some day of the week. And then, of course, the data issues we ran into was there wasn't really any non-existent values, so that was less of an issue, but what we did find was reading time data was difficult, and so separating into a separate hour column, and then as well as really high frequency crimes sort of made the actual visualization of the data very difficult to see. Sort of came out as like one blob instead of a separation of occurrences. So the solution there is looking at the relative frequencies, so standardizing all of the occurrences across all the crimes.
So as Lindsay said, we wanted to look at how crime occurs over time. So here we can see that over time, here's a plot. The beginning of the plot shows 0, which is midnight, all the way through midnight. So midnight to midnight. As we can see, this is all crime, all arrests, just sum totals. In the beginning of the night, very early, we have a lot of crime, but it slows down all the way until about sunrise, when it starts to go back up again, and then at sunset, it peaks again, and then starts to head back down. And as you can see here, in our linear model, we saw that it actually was significant, that the hour of the arrest did have an effect on the amount of arrests. Here we just took kind of the top five common crimes that we see. So for red we have assault, for yellow we have drunkenness, for green we have larceny theft, which was the most common crime, for blue we have vandalism, and for purple we have warrants. And again, you can see right at sunrise is the lowest, and then it goes up and up and up and up, and then right when we hit sunset it goes up even more, and then it goes back down. And especially for drunkenness, you can really see how as the day progresses, there's more and more arrests.
So we also looked at crimes that resulted in arrested and bookings, and top 4 categories were warrants, stolen property, driving under influence, and then drug and narcotic use. And we also looked at like which of the PD districts did occur, or which had the highest percentage. And Tenderloin district had a 47.64% of all of the crimes. 47.64% of them ended in arrests, which is a big distinction between the second and third ones, which are in the 20s. And then here's a really cool GG plot that shows like kind of different types of the category of a crime, the number of occurrences that each one happened, and also classified by the color. and you can see that there's like some bias in us, or like for example, like weapon laws in Tenderloin, you have a higher chance of getting arrested for weapon laws than in other districts, and so you can kind of see like how each district the percentage like, get arrested based on certain crimes.
And we also have a visualization to expand on the breakdown by region in the city. So we can see that if we look, there's a concentration of disorderly conduct here along the east end. These areas are actually the Tenderloin and the Mission District. If you think about this intuitively, it makes sense, building off of what Donja was saying, a lot more crimes in the Tenderloin. That has to do with like the poverty level and also how many police are going to be in that area. And the Mission, kind of a known place that has a lot of bars where a lot of people will go out. Yeah, so that concludes our presentation.
Thank you.